Listen, I will fully acknowledge that Trevor Bauer was horrible in 2025, being amongst the, if not the, absolute worst starting pitcher in all of NPB, considering the fact that it's such a pitcher-friendly league. And he had a 4.41 ERA with an over 1.3 whip, and less than 1 strikeout per inning. So, make no mistake, this video is in no way meant to celebrate a player personally who is certainly amongst the most controversial in the last 20 years, and who at this point really doesn't belong anywhere near a major league field. No, instead it is a simple documentation, because, as Bauer himself pointed out on Twitter a little while ago, he did, more than likely, throw the hardest ball ever recorded on an MLB field, at least since we started recording such things. And what's more, the manner in which he did it was hilarious and pretty ironic. Bauer was on the mound versus the Royals back in 2019, with his team staking him to a 3-0 lead before he ever threw a pitch, but he would begin struggling soon after, giving up an RBI single to Hunter Dozier to cut the lead at 2. A couple frames later, it was Ryan O'Hearn's turn to knock in a run, grounding a ball to first baseman Jake Bauers, who fielded it and then fired well over the head of his catcher, allowing not 1 but 2 runs to cross the plate, tying the game at 3. The Guardians would throw up a couple more, giving him a slight cushion again entering the 5th, but this is when it would all fall apart. First, there was a bases-loaded infield single from O'Hearn, a tough luck play that you can see really bothered him, as he had a chance to flip to the plate but couldn't get the ball in his glove. Chelsea Cuthbert would follow with an RBI single in the next at-bat, tying the game at 5. The final nail in the coffin would be Nicky Lopez singling up the middle, knocking in 2 more runs. That would be all she wrote for Bauer. As manager Tito Francona got set to go to the mound to take the ball, Trevor turned and proceeded to fire it towards center field, with the toss eventually clearing the fence entirely. You can see him begin to apologize to Tito as he left the mound, though his manager still certainly seemed frustrated, as you'd probably expect. He would indeed later apologize for this, but it doesn't really take much off of how immature it looked. However, it would later be revealed via StatCast that this throw left his arm at 109 miles an hour, which honestly isn't as surprising as you'd think, since it was essentially just a glorified pulldown, and you really don't ever see those in live games. The record for an in-game throw is currently held by Brenton Doyle at 105.7, so this handedly beat that. And I couldn't find a single other throw that a player has made in either warm-ups or in-between plays like this that was anywhere near this hard before. As such, I do think Bauer is likely correct that this is the hardest throw ever measured on an MLB field. Again though, I do find it ironic and hilarious that it came on such an immature decision, one that perhaps defines Trevor's time in the big leagues best. A lot of raw talent, but some pretty major personality warts and inconsistent performance that marred his legacy decidedly. Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.